Sponsored by Local Touch Online, a free online magazine that has an exclusive article by Pop Culture Geekery every month.
In love with you. I want to be with you. And yes, it might be messy. It might not work. It might even destroy our friendship forever. But love is a risk. I'd rather risk our friendship than pretend these feelings aren't real. You don't give up on love. Take a risk. Take a leap of faith and be with me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Geekery. I'm Joe Solis, and I've got Roy from Roy's Toy Box on again tonight. And so we wanted to... How's it going, Roy? He got all Harley'd up tonight because we're going to be talking about the DC Universe Harley Quinn series, which is on season 2. So I know we just both caught up on it. The last episode showed up this past weekend. So I wanted to recognize Roy real quick because he's got a lot of stuff going on since the last time y'all saw him. He's actually got some live toy auctions happening every Saturday night, right?
Yeah, Saturday night on Epic Collections on Facebook.
So I'm going to put a link below to like his page, which is Roy's Toy Box, which is now an official page on Facebook. And then, of course, he still has this classic Instagram. But yeah, he's been selling a lot of stuff. So you guys are missing out if you're looking for some good collectibles.
It's been a lot of fun. And then I recently just broke the news that I'm now a moderator on another page it's called the Toy Box Life, which is also on Facebook. So that's really cool. They actually seek me out or sought me out, whatever the word is, and asked me if I wanted to be a moderator and put on shows and stuff. So huge surprise out of the blue. Yeah, it was really exciting. They're really happy to have me join the team, and I'm really happy to be part of it. So, but thank you, and thanks for setting up the page, Joe. That was awesome. Super, super helpful.
You're welcome. All right. So after having a little bit of technical difficulty, we're back. So just want to show that we are giving this away tonight. So you probably saw in the thumbnail, if I can get it centered. It's the Harley Quinn from the McFarlane line, the DC Multiverse line. And so if you stick around to the end of the video, I will show you guys how to win this. But unfortunately, it's going to only be for people in the U.S. because it's coming out of my pocket. So, but yeah, so we just wanted to go over Harley Quinn season 2, which just concluded on DC Universe. I know a lot of people don't have DC Universe, but this series alone to me is worth it. So obviously we're going to talk about spoilers for both season 1 and 2. I just wanted to kind of give everybody a quick summary of what happened in season 1, so that way they kind of know, where we're coming from with this. So the gist of season 1, like, it seems like DC had a plan across all media for Harley to break up with the Joker because that was pretty much the premise of season 1. That's the premise we saw in the Birds of Prey movie. And even in the comics, they've broken up and they've gone as far as to introduce the Joker's new girlfriend, which is named Punchline, which I know absolutely zero about. And so waiting to see what the deal is. Kind of reminds me of like from The Office, when Jim and Pam weren't together. And then, what's the name?
Karen.
There you go, where she came. Oh, my God, I can't believe that's her name.
I was waiting for it. I was like, I got you, Joe.
But yeah, we'll see how the fans take to Punchline or not. But yeah, so that's the gist of season 1. They take time to set up that world. In that world, it's the DC universe, heavily R-rated.
Yeah, very heavily R-rated. Sex and nudity, violence and gore, profanity, alcohol, drugs, smoking, frightening, intense scenes. Yeah, I'm looking at IMDb's description of it, and I'm just like, wow, it's all lit up.
So basically, just like the old Super Friends cartoon, right?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. It's the Justice League for older kids.
Yeah. But they spend the whole first season, kind of showing her go on her own, and she attempts to join Legion of Doom, who in that Lex Luthor is voiced by.
Who does that? Is it Rainn Wilson? Is it?
It's no. It's the one that plays Gus Fring from Breaking Bad.
Oh wait, Gus?
From The Mandalorian.
Esposito, Giancarlo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he plays Lex Luthor.
Oh, hey! I didn't see you there. I'm Lex Luthor, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about the Legion of Doom. The LOD is a supportive community of elite supervillains dedicated to making the world a worse place.
They treat the series very much like a superhero sitcom. Harley ends up rooming with Poison Ivy, and then they slowly put together a crew, which consists of Clayface, Dr. Psycho, King Shark, and a new character named Cy Borgman, who is voiced by Jason Alexander, correct, from Seinfeld?
Yeah. Now, I've read when I used to read the Harley Quinn books, there was a character in that as well, in the comic books. I don't know if that's supposed to be him. It's been a while since I picked up one of those, but like when Terry Dodson was on that run, there was a character that ran her, I guess he was the landlord of her apartment above the pet shop or something like that. So I don't know if that's supposed to be an homage to him or if that is him, but just like a cartoon version, but absolutely hilarious character.
Oh, no, I was just looking here. Yeah, he did. It says he came out in March of 2014 as part of the New 52. So so he was a New 52 character. Yeah. But voiced by Jason Alexander, so perfect. Like, and I mean, you could hear it right away first scene he came out. So
yeah, it's funny. Like, and I think I've said this before in the reviews. I'm horrible at voices, so I didn't even know that. Like, as iconic as his voice is, no clue. I was just so when you just said that right now, I looked it up. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm looking up all the names and all the stars they have in this. It's just a cavalcade of stars. It's crazy.
Yeah, including Harley Quinn herself, who is voiced by Kaylee Cuoco. Is that how you say it? Yeah. Cuoco from Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
And she does an amazing job with Harley Quinn.
She does a really great job.
She just takes it and makes it her own.
Yeah. And I think what's really neat is it's actually done through not only DC, but it's done through her production company called Yes Norman, which is one of her dogs, named after one of her dogs. So I think that's really cool. I remember hearing an interview about this, and I was like, oh man, I don't know, because oddly enough, Bernadette from Big Bang also played Harley Quinn in a previous Batman animated movie, and it was great with her kind of Jersey sound, even from the show. It was really interesting, and I was really concerned. I was like, oh man, as much as I love Penny, I don't know if she can do Harley. I was like, it's a very distinct voice and kind of mannerism, but I mean, she just really cut loose, and they let her have fun with this. I don't know how much free reign she has, but man, she's killing it. She's doing an absolutely amazing job.
Yeah, she really does. And what's his name? Plays the Joker. Alan, how do you pronounce it? Tudyk?
Tudyk. I say Tudyk. I don't know. I could never get that right.
We're trying to save the city. Psycho's mind controlled my crew and all the parademons, and in order to stop him, we were trying to free the Justice League from Queen of Fable's book.
Oh, that is not the book.
What? The actual book is
Still at Bethany's. Who's Bethany? My girlfriend. What? My ex-girlfriend. I'll explain on the way.
I didn't know he played the Joker either. Gee, see, that's what I'm talking. He plays a lot of voices though in this. He covers a lot, including Clayface.
Ha! You've stepped in it now, Psycho. A big, fresh, wet one. The Justice League to the rescue. Huzzah!
No way that helmet's powerful enough to control Superman's funky alien brain.
The Justice League comes to get us. Free us all. He might be right.
And it was amazing. I couldn't even give you a favorite character in this because for all of them, I love Dr. Psycho, obviously, from the one episode with Wonder Woman. That whole thing with him was just hilarious. I love King Shark for his sensibilities and like how just how he is. It's so what's it called? It's just so different from a shark. You know, you're just like you wouldn't expect that. So I love that dynamic. And
Just to double check here, I'm not going to be doing any biting, right? Because I do not do well around blood.
No blood!
and then Clayface is hilarious, man. So good on this team. So it's a fantastic team, and it's interesting to see them kind of highlight these characters who, I mean, to me, they're kind of second, tier characters, but they just push them to the forefront with the amazing writing, the outstanding voice direction, and it's just funny and entertaining. All of them. I have not been bored once, which is great. I've been entertained the entire time. Even when Harley's not on screen, it's just them and their little adventures. They're hilarious, man. I could see a spin-off of them just doing their own thing. They do such a great job with it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think for this one, Harley is my favorite. I think Kelly did it in such a way to where it's like its own iteration, but it's still Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It's just different, and it's fun. And even like her costume is kind of like an amalgamation of like the New 52 with a little bit of the Suicide Squad movie, with a little bit of the classic, and it's such a perfect look. Yeah. But yeah, so beyond that, the setup in season 1, at the end, the Joker tries to take over the city, and in the midst of it, ends up destroying the city, and Batman, who is a side character in this, basically, is presumed dead, and or missing, and so is the Joker. And then basically season 2, I don't know if you ever read that famous Batman story called No Man's Land, but that's what season 2 reminded me of, where in No Man's Land, an earthquake basically destroyed Gotham, and it was became lawless. And I don't think they did the whole setup like they did here, but to me it was a very similar idea. But yeah, so like I said, season 2 is what we want to focus on tonight. So the gist of season 2, it almost plays like a video game to me. It's like you got to go to the different stages because
they sliced it up, and that was really fun.
Yeah, because you have so like we mentioned earlier, we had the Legion of Doom in the first season. Well, the surviving members formed the Injustice League, which I thought was a nice nod, and so you have, let's see, these I can't find off here. I just have to go by memory. I know you have the Riddler, has his own territory. Bane, Two-Face, Mr. Yeah, does Mr. Freeze? Yeah, Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze has his own.
Yeah,
it's the giant snow globe.
So then the first half of the series is just them. Oh, because
and Penguin.
Penguin. Oh God, the Penguin.
It's got Penguin, Bane, Mr. Freeze, Riddler University, which is great. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. How do you fit the college into the Wasteland storyline? You just have them block it off. It's a college now.
It's awesome.
Riddle me this. What's the only place in Gotham with still intact power plant and running water? Well, it's right here at Riddle U, where the young and promising can charge their cell phones and their brains. Right, three girls?
Yes, Dean Riddler. Now that's clean water.
So I don't know if we mentioned, but in this first season, a character, again, like you're talking about, like lesser known characters, the Queen of Fables, sends the Justice League to the same storybook that they trapped her in.
You're not responsible for this. Who is?
Oh no.
To return the favor.
You'll never get away with...
Shut the hell up, sexy.
And so that's a convenient way to get them out of the plot. And like we mentioned earlier, Batman's already kind of MIA. One character in here who really has a great character arc, even though it started off as a gag, is Commissioner Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon, yeah. I love what they're doing with him. It's so great.
Can't get a hold of the Justice League, but I found Scarecrow. Wait, are you wearing a helmet?
Are you on a tank?
No, I'm riding my skateboard.
What?
The situation's gotten more dire, all right? Desperate times call for tanks.
Yeah, because that was just a gag in the first season. It was just like, oh, Commissioner Gordon's lost hope. He's pretty much drunk all the time, you know. But no, he has a full-on character arc in this one.
It's so good. I swear, like they are just shining a spotlight on all these characters, and they're each individually just fascinating and fun and just great to watch to see what they're doing. Yeah, seeing Commissioner Gordon, you know, later on what we see like in the university where he's living in the dorm room. I mean, and then his dependency on his relationship with Batman, and I mean all of it. They just do such an amazing job. And then Diedrich Bader back as the voice of Batman, absolutely love it. From Brave and the Bold. And who does Commissioner Gordon? Who is that? Anybody know? Commissioner? Oh, it's Christopher Maloney from Law and Order and from Superman, Man of Steel. Today is a good day to die. That dude, that is awesome. I didn't know that. He does such a great job.
Oh,
that's awesome. That's so cool.
Apparently, we do get. Well, I won't skip ahead, but remind me about Darkseid when we get to him in a second.
I don't think I ever do come back to it, but what I meant to say was Michael Ironside returns as Darkseid.
But yeah, they spend the 2 seasons, you know, building the team. The whole thing with Poison Ivy and Harley, that was one of the things, you know, I already said spoilers at the beginning, but God, they just blasted it all over the internet as soon as, you know, those 2 kissed.
Yeah.
So I was like, am I really spoiling anything at this point?
No, that's been a kind of a thing before, though. Like there was the what was that? It's also the Terry Dodson run was I forget not Mad Love, that was the Joker story, but the one after it with them, they kind of touched in on that a little bit from what I remember. So I don't remember if it went to the kiss and all that, but I'm pretty sure there was something there. I have to go back and watch. So I was a little I didn't think it was a big deal, so I was kind of like, oh, that's cool. I mean, I feel like I've seen that story with them, so it wasn't like a huge like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh, cool.
Well, for me, it was a big deal because it's like, it feels like fan fulfillment finally. You know, it's like they've kind of been asking for that for a long time, and so they thought to themselves, okay, so we got an adult focused show. You know, we don't have to worry about regular TV people, you know, trying to tell us stuff. This is our platform. Let's just do it. And that's what they did, and it was perfect. And the dynamic between Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn is so good. I mean, again, it's back to that sitcom thing, because the way they talk to each other, you know, she's kind of like the roommate, but she's Poison Ivy. Like she can.
I would be dead without you, like a lot.
I do not disagree with that. I mean, I'm glad you're not dead, but I don't know. It felt like you were so ready to abandon me.
I would never do that. I will always be there for you. I will always smash things you might need smashed, Ive.
Yeah, and that's what's her name? She's got her own show too, Lake Bell. She's freaking awesome as Poison Ivy, and then of course Kite Man, who's her fiance, and all that. We'll get into that, but yeah, it's such a great dynamic. What I like though about it is they don't. It's yes, it's fan service, but they don't. But they treat with care and development, and I like it. It's not cheesy. It's not what do they call that. They're not like what's the word? I'm losing the word here. They are not. I think they're doing it right.
Yeah, they're not pandering. Is that the word you're looking for?
Yes, thank you. I'm like, thank you.
No, and when I say fans, when I say fan service, to me that's not a bad thing. Like that's the whole point. Is that you want the fans to be happy, and
they're listening.
And especially on the DC side. I mean, as much problems as they have with the movies and stuff. You know, it's nice when they do something, you know, and it's well received and it's popular. I mean, it already was. It's just like, oh, okay, we finally got it here. I mean, man, I would have loved to have seen an iteration of this on the big screen instead of the Birds of Prey movie. You know, like I mean, I don't know who I would pick for a live action Poison Ivy. I was trying to think about it before this. I can't think of anybody. It would have to be a good matchup with Margot Robbie, obviously. But
well, I mean, I imagine. I wouldn't be opposed to just having another, you know, what they did with like the Killing Joke and all that, and just kind of having a not live action, but a animated movie. some more money, more, bigger budget, all that kind of thing, and just doing a movie out of this series would be great. Like, just something, now that it's picking up so much popularity, I would imagine people would probably go pay to watch this, assuming, in theaters. But if we got like a movie production value with this story, as long as the same people are working on it, we don't get all these people sticking their hands in the pot here trying to reformat it or something to match the general audience. If they keep it just like this, it kind of reminds me a lot of what they did with Deadpool, for Marvel, is what they're doing with Harley Quinn for DC. Like, they're just treating it with respect and the love. I mean, obviously these people know the character really well, the content, at least that's what I get from watching this series. And they know better than I do, because there's stuff in here that I don't know, but that I'm really enjoying and loving, and just, it's re-interesting my my love for the character. It's just like, cause Harley's always been just one of those unique characters that just came out, by Paul Dini, that just took over. Like it just spread like, like the internet, just crazy. And so, to see what they're doing with it, and to see not live action, but even an animated movie of this would be pretty cool. I mean, I would pay to see it. I would love to see it.
And I think too, what helps is that this is a different iteration of Poison Ivy, because we just reviewed, Batman Hush, a few weeks ago, and that to me is the more classic Poison Ivy, know, and I mean, yeah, that one could end up with Harley too, but this one, in this world, the way that they set her up, to me, it made more sense, because they had that whole friend dynamic, and they had their fights and their disagreements, and yeah, let's talk real quick about Kite Man.
Yeah, Kite Man's awesome.
So again, like Roy mentioned earlier, one of the best things this show does is take a bunch of, I would even say, C or D list characters. I mean, who the heck is Kite Man? Yeah. But but they took him. They made him funny. They went with the sitcom route with him and Poison Ivy, kind of starting something. And she almost starts it reluctantly at first, but then she kind of likes him.
Which is awesome.
And then
her dirty little secret.
yeah. So it's like, it's that guy that you shouldn't be dating, but you are, and you're ashamed to tell your friends, So.
Double check. What color petals am I looking for?
Magenta.
Right. That's like a reddish pink.
No, it's a purplish pink. Don't touch the reddish pink ones. They're paralytic, okay?
Cool. And ballpark, how long does that take to kick in? You know what? Doesn't matter, because I definitely didn't touch the reddish pink one. There in a few. Oh boy.
Yeah, and again, it's just the juxtaposition, and that seems to work with the show a lot. Is the juxtaposition of the characters. Like, you would never see an A-lister like Poison Ivy, not even in your weirdest fantasies, with someone like Kite Man. Like, who? It's so and it just works, man. The formula works for this show. They keep doing it.
Yeah, and I mean, they take it all the way to the end. So basically, the rest of the season, like we were saying, she's trying to take out the Injustice League, and in the middle of this, we get introduced to Barbara Gordon becoming Batgirl, which I thought was really cool.
Love it.
She gets to shine here, to where she just got that cameo in Batman Hush, or whatever the one before that one was. And they get to use that modern costume, which I know is one of your favorites. It's definitely one of mine.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Up here, dummy. Hey guys, today's safety tip. Instead of going to a party this Friday night, sign up for a self-defense class. Right, buddy? This is Batgirl signing off.
So that was pretty neat. The thing we talked about it, on our own, but I wanted to bring it up here, is that another thing about this show is that all the DC characters, they are treated well. Like yes, there's some in jokes, and yes, they poke fun at people, but like in this world, when the Justice League shows up, everybody still reveres them as like, oh my God, it's the Justice League.
Yeah. Don't worry, the shark hates violence, and the lump of clay is harmless. Okay, I did not, yeah.
And even the Legion of Doom, like she goes to that whole first season trying to become part of them because they're legendary, you know. And so that I appreciated with this show, that, you know, everybody still got, you know, a time to shine, the ones who deserved it. And, you know, who, even Batman, like when Batman shows up, like, oh my God, it's Batman, you know, like everybody freaks out. And
That's right. Rebellion is in the air. Batman's back, baby. And with him, hope for the people of Gotham. I'm gonna live forever. Batman's back.
You can wipe that smug look off your face. That's not smug. This is smug. Devastating.
you know, he's got his own theme. I mean, it's just like, it's just so perfect, like the way they did it. And I was so appreciative of the writers, because they have the characters that they can play around with. They can play around with Dr. Psycho, and like you said, they can play around with Clayface, and even, I know you mentioned in one of our other reviews, you love this iteration of Bane. Which I was
favorite Bane of all time. Like, I hate Bane. But I love this Bane. Like, he is the best character. I just love how sensitive he is. It's awesome.
Look at that. Gang's all here. Freeze. Been a minute. Bane, good to see you on your feet after the Legion went boom.
Luckily, I was away.
So, what's the deal? You guys get invites to this Injustice League dealio too?
Actually, Harley. Ta-da!
We have time to get a banner made, but not enough to find one more executive chair.
Oh, again with the swivel chair.
Now, I did want to ask you a question about that, because when I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, do you like this Bane because you know the other iterations of Bane, or do you think you would still like him if he was the first time Bane appeared?
I like, let's see, I think I like him so much because I hate him so much, if that makes any sense. I love, I've never been a fan of his from the comic book when he broke Batman's back and he broke the bat, that whole storyline. I just thought this was, no offense, and even as a creator, and I don't want to drag this out, even as a creator, as an artist, I just didn't understand the design for him. It just felt like one of these like generic characters. You know, you've got Harley Quinn, especially when you compare him to the Rogues Gallery. He just seems so not part of the Batman universe, and I still don't see him until now. So now, if I had seen him for the first time as the Bane we see him now in the animated series, I would absolutely be one of the biggest fans, and I would be shocked to see if they did the Batman, broken bat story after this. I'm like, whoa, when did Bane get so dark? So I would say if I had seen this one first, would have absolutely loved the character from the beginning. I like this treatment with him. Just because they just seem to have so much fun with him, and you can tell that there is a definitely a true fanship there, as well as they just have fun with it. They just have fun with the character, and like again, it's a fan service. The whole mocking of the kind of thing. They keep that. Everybody does it. When you think of Bane, I picture Jason Sudeikis, doing that from I think it was like We're the Millers or something, and and it just worked, and they went with that. It seemed to definitely be a fan service thing that they've kept going throughout the entire series. They haven't let up on it, and it just keeps getting funnier. If that answers your question.
Not by the look of things.
No! It's two faces! Plural! My face and his face! I am one of the two faces! We are partners!
He already has two faces. If he were your partner, that would be three faces.
I know it was too much of a thinker!
Yeah, no, and it was one of those things I thought about when I was watching, because I was like, yeah, it's like when you get to know certain characters, and then of course if they become parodied,
right,
and you like the parody more, then it's like, what does that say about the original character? Kind of like you just stated,
Yeah.
The same can be said about Clayface. It's like,
oh God, yes.
They're like, okay, so it's Clayface, so he wants to be an aspiring actor because he can change into whoever he wants, and I'm like, that's so brilliant. Like that's such a great gag.
That's his origin. Yeah, he was a hero person.
So, and I mean, they play around with that. Anyway, I mean, if you guys can tell, we're obviously gushing about this show, and it's just one of those. It's like, it's almost like a sigh of relief, because it's just like, you know, we love these characters. You know, we want them to be successful, and when a lot of these other properties, whether it be the movies or maybe other TV shows or whatever, just don't work, it's frustrating. And so that's why it's nice when something like this comes along. It's like, yes, I want to promote it. I want people to watch it. I mean, DC Universe, I just realized, is about 2 years old at this point. I know a lot of people, you know, were iffy about it when it first came out. You know, I've had it since the whole, you know, pandemic started. You know, I subscribe to it and I love it. I mean, anytime I think of a comic or I want to see a comic, I just jump on there. I mean, you know, there's like 27,000 of them. So very rarely do I come across one that I can't find. It's usually an older one. You know, they've got this original stuff. To me, this is, I mean, I still haven't seen like Doom Patrol or finished Titans or anything like that. But to me, this is like the crown jewel, because it's just so well done the whole way through.
Well, and speaking of fan service, you know, I think it's hilarious how they even go, I mean, is it called meta, where they go into their own universe and they have fans watching it and talking about it and discussing it. I mean, that's how good this is. Like, I mean, I can't gush about it anymore, like, or just, you know, talk it up more. I thought that was, you know, breaking that fourth wall and having the guys discuss it, and like, oh no, blah, blah. You know, you've got those naysayers, the haters, if you will. You know, they're aware of it. You know, they're aware of it. So they've got their, you know, is it their finger on the pulse, their ear to the ground, you know, or to the door, or whatever it is, whatever they say, whatever the youths are saying these days. But you know, they've got that down, and I think it really helps the show because they're staying. I think as of right now, I almost feel like the boss is just not in the office. They're letting them just, you know, yeah, do your thing. We're not going to say anything unless you guys screw up. Basically, you don't screw it up, we'll leave you guys alone to do your thing. And that's what they're doing with this. That's the best description I can give of this show. They're treating the characters with respect. They're having fun with them. They're doing really good stories. The humor is the writing is just top notch. I think probably one of the best things that DC was it Universe, whatever you called it right now. I think it's one of the best things they've put out, even among all the movies that they put out. Like, this holds its own, and I really hope this goes the distance, and we see, you know, future seasons of this, you know, and that it stays fresh like this. I kind of feel like, I think we discussed this, I kind of feel like they kind of tied it up a little bit, you know, with everything going on. You know, it could technically end right here, but I would hate to see it end on this. But it's also one of those things like, well, it's on a high note, should we just stop it here kind of thing. But I would love to see another season of this. There's so much more I would love to see with this.
Yeah, because when they ended the first season, it was obvious they were going to have a second. Like, they ended on a cliffhanger. This time, they kind of end on a cliffhanger. I guess we won't spoil that. We'll leave, I mean, there's not too much left, but they do kind of leave it open. But again, at the same time, it's one of those endings where you could just stop there if you wanted to. Yeah. And I know there's petitions out there. Well, not petitions per se, but I see posts and stuff of people asking for season 3, and because of the current, you know, situation, we have to wait to see when new series are ordered and stuff, because I don't, as of right now, I haven't heard anything about what's coming out in the future. I mean, Stargirl was the newest thing we got, and that was already in production before all this. So, yeah, but anyway, I didn't know that. I don't know. Do we really need to give ratings? I think everybody can tell.
If you want, I'm curious what your rating is. Yeah, what do you give this though?
God, I want to give it a 10 out of 10, and I don't want to be like.
Well, let's be fair. What don't you like? Yeah. Let's go that route.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I would really have to like stop and think like what it is. I mean, I will say this. I remember when we watched the first episode, I just remember thinking, "Oh, this is pretty crazy." Like, but it didn't. The first episode didn't make me like want to keep watching like right away. It was just one of those like, I'll get back to it, you know. And that's what happened. Like, I saw that first episode with you months ago, maybe over a year ago, when it first came out. But it wasn't until recently when I was like, okay, you know, I wanted to get through to because I knew season 2 was ending, and that's when it just hooked me. And I think it was more just when I started seeing the whole picture. Yeah. You know, because that first episode's just crazy. It's just straight up crazy and just having fun, you know. And I was just like, okay, this is fine, you know, whatever. But it just wasn't hooking me, you know.
Can we talk about this later?
It's not now. When? I can't spend my whole life just bashing goons. I want to be your partner in crime.
Jeez, this guy. Harley, I'd never deny you the pleasure of buying me time to escape.
Oh.
Well, like to me, it reminds me of some of the stuff. Maybe it was like early 2000s. I don't know. I can't tell which, but like to me, this is like, and I only say this in terms of maybe the oh gosh, the speed at which they do things, the events, how kind of this is all kind of chaotic and stuff. It reminds you of something like maybe Adventure Time, Cat Dog, maybe, and I'm mixing those. I know those are kind of far years apart, maybe, but that Nickelodeon maybe block of stuff where even like Rick and Morty, where it's just like crazy in your face, but still contained. They're like, okay, we're gonna give the audience what they want because we know who's watching this, we know our demographic, which is kind of funny because it's kind of like those people that watch like Gravity Falls and all those kind of shows are, I think, a little older now, to where they're probably watching the show. And so it gives that pacing. I think that's what I was alluding to. It's the pacing of the show. And so for me watching it, even that first one, I was like, what is going on? Like, why is this so crazy? But it hooked me right away. And I was like, I love it. And I was really worried about, like as a fan of the character and as a fan of Kaylee Cuoco, was like, is she going to be able to do this? There's a lot riding on this. It's her first production studio thing. I remember reading about it way before, like when Big Bang Theory was ending, what her future plans were, and seeing, like, I think San Diego Comic-Con, she's talking about it, that she was working on this thing and this big idea and stuff, and the launch of the DCU stuff. And I was just like, okay, this is good, and I hope they, whatever they're doing, I hope they keep it going. The Plant, freaking hilarious. Frank. I mean, just things.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that,
I forgot about Frank.
Yeah, JB Smoove is hilarious. I mean, just one of the best comedians out there. Kind of underrated, I think. If you don't know who he is, watch his stuff. He's freaking hilarious. It's so subtle, but it's hilarious. And his voice as the Plant. And I was trying to figure out, is he still the Plant in the second season? Because he sounds a little different, and I don't know why. I couldn't put my finger on it. I probably got off subject. Sorry, you were talking. What did you hate about it? What did you like? Sorry.
I mean, no, it looks like it's still him for both. I mean, I guess, if I had to do the two, both of them, maybe season one's like a 8 or 9 out of 10, but season 2 is definitely a 10. Like, awesome. It took season 1 and it just elaborated and it just played in that world. That was the other thing. Like what you said at the end of the DCU movies that we did, you're like, well, they should just left that universe alone and just play in it.
Yeah.
Well, the characters the way they were, and that's what happened here.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's some characters that die, and you're like you mentioned the Penguin, and I think Scarecrow dies. Mr. Freeze has a very dramatic death.
Yeah.
There's drama in this show too. Forgot to mention that there's actually legit drama.
It's good. Yeah. You care about the characters. You're just like, wait, you're not supposed to make me feel feelings. Like, I'm just here to watch cartoons. But yeah, no, they do a great job.
Yeah, so that's probably the way I would do it. But
awesome.
Anyway, anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I would say definitely check it out. I give it a 10. Both seasons I really enjoyed them. They're just fun. I mean, if you haven't seen them, watch them. These are not for kids. This is not your, Disney Channel, whatever episode kind of thing. If they do a movie, which I hope they do, I would love to see the same creative team on this. But other than that, I mean, yeah, just keep it going because it is awesome. Check it out, the show. 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I will say you have to have at least seen Batman the Animated Series and experienced Harley Quinn, I think, to really appreciate where she is at the beginning of this. So, which good segue is actually this costume she was in back then.
Smooth. JB Smooth, Joe.
Yeah. But so I'll put the instructions up here, but just like I did with the Scoop giveaway. So basically, so share the video. And when you share it, make sure and put the hashtag. I'm going to make this hashtag pop culture Harley. So that way I can find you if you shared the video. And go ahead and like it, of course. And I hope you already are subscribed if you're not yet. I'll probably get this out at the end of this week, which would be Friday or Saturday. And so I'll just give it a week. So I'll check it a week later out on the day that it debuts. I'll check it a week later to see who has done the instructions. So like, share. Oh, I can't see my finger. Like, share.
Confusing.
And then
we don't want to see
hashtag pop culture Harley.
I know you
can win this thing.
This is an adult show. But...
U.S. Yeah, I know, right? U.S. only, please. I'm sorry, other countries.
Yeah.
But I
Is
guess
this all 50 states or 48? The 48.
Yeah, we'll add Hawaii and Alaska. Like, I know y'all get, screwed out of giveaways, so I'll pay the extra for one of y'all if you get it. So
awesome.
Anyway, all right, guys. Well, thanks again for checking this out. Again, check out Roy's Toy Box. The links will be below. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. We're inching closer to 300 subscribers. So I mean, we're crawling up there. So I appreciate all the support. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.